Good morning. I am Anne Lacaton, architect. I'm calling from my office in Montreuil. The art of the reuse, the concern for the value of the existing. We have all this in our deep heart and mind, but it's something that we have forgotten. It starts from a clear attention to our environment and to what we already have. And this is a lot. And when we take this consciousness, when we observe enough, it's an amazing richness. It's not a conservative attitude, not the attitude to say that what was there before has more value than anything else. It's much more an attitude of continuity, enrichment. More than ideal, it's probably a philosophy of care, taking attention of everything, including people, and generosity. And I could add a third criteria, which is economy. When we work especially on the transformation of the modern social housing, facing the massive demolition, we arrived to this very radical position, never demolish. The last one was in Bordeaux. These big blocks, 530 dwellings. The city planned to demolish them. But in fact, you cannot just say that you demolish a building, because these buildings, inside, you have probably 2,000 people living. And the problem, unfortunately, it's most often the demolition is based on criteria which doesn't really take enough in account the life inside, the people inside. Then when it was decided to keep the building and to make a transformation, that was our first task, to visit dwellings and to see how it is inside. And it's really amazing to see that finally the richness is inside. The value is inside, because all of these people, they give a value over the years. This great collection of lives, of interiors, it becomes strong for the project. It's difficult to understand why there is an interest for this attitude of transformation instead of demolition and rebuild, and why it doesn't go much more in the phase of decision, in the reality, because there are still a lot of demolitions everywhere. It is still the first decision which is taken when there is the issue of what to do with existing buildings. We are really disappointed that there are still so many buildings demolished, while at the same time, the concern for sustainability is so strong. The problem is that the criteria for the construction, even for the recycling materials, they don't take into account the former situation. One of the problems is that the norms or the way the buildings are designed and approved, it's much more determined by the values of the materials or the technology than the intelligence of the design, a more clever relation with climate, the responsibility and the involvement of users. To base a philosophy of sustainability only on materials and technology is a no-end way, because we will reach quite fast the limit of that. We really think the opposite. We prefer to imagine simple systems with more generous space, more possibilities, where the user is himself or herself the main actor of the comfort. What is very important is, of course, to dream, because the dream is what is also carrying us as persons in the future. But at the same time, it's important to achieve the dreams, to analyze what is not possible today, why it's not possible, and try to change this precisely. The future is today. Why to wait?